Hello, my dear students, friends, scholars, and professionals of library and information science. Myself, Kripanand Jha, a senior lecturer at the Mirabai Institute of Technology, Government of Delhi, New Delhi. Friends, today I am going to discuss cataloging practice, specifically the treatment of pseudonym in AACR-II. Friends, as so far the pseudonym is concerned, pseudonym, as you know, that sometimes the author or the editor or the translator or any kind of collaborator change his or her name, take a fictitious name or false name, do not or does not represent herself or himself by original names. So, that kind of fictitious name is pseudonym, and in cataloging practice the treatment of pseudonym is different. Today I am going to discuss the treatment of pseudonym according to AACR-II. So, the whole outline of the talk is that first the topic will be introduced, then what is pseudonym, then how we treat a work or how do we catalog a work written by a person, one person having one pseudonym. Then a person using more than one pseudonym and writing either one work or more than one work. Then the other kinds of collaborators like editor, translator, compiler, there are so many numbers of responsibilities as per AACR-II. So, we will discuss all these topics today, and ultimately we will see the practical aspect and take the appropriate example for each and every aspect of pseudonym. Friends, work of author published under fictitious name, pen name, any name other than the original name of the author, the AACR defines as a name assumed by an author. So, here the any name which is not original by author can be considered as pseudonym, whether it is fictitious name, pen name or any kind of changed name which is not the original name of author, that is being considered as pseudonym. So, as per AACR 32A, first part of 32A rule, if all the works by a person appears under one pseudonym, choose the pseudonym. Here the rule of AACR says that if there are a number of works by one author and the author is using same pseudonym for all his or her works, in that condition, as the author in the main entry or the main entry will be prepared under the pseudonym. That is the rule of AACR. Then how are we going to connect the pseudonym with the original name? Why this connection is required? Let us understand that. Suppose one user comes in the library and search the catalog by pseudonym. In that condition, if we are making a main entry under the pseudonym, then the user will get it, fine. But sometimes it happens that users search with the original name of the author or even editor or other kinds of responsibilities like translator, collaborator, etc. So, in that condition, how the user will reach to the work written by that author? Because you know that why do we prepare the catalog? Our whole purpose of preparing catalog is making accessible the document to the user or exposing the document to the user. So, if and in catalog we provide all the access points through which one user can access the documents. So, we create main entry, then we provide added entry, and in added entry we provide all those access points like title, then the subject and many others. If editor is there, then editor, if translator is there, in then translators, like that. So, if a work is written by a person which uses pseudonym, and if the user comes and searching the same work of the author by his or her original name, then what will happen? Then for that purpose the AACR-II says that we should prepare the reference entry, and if the main entry is under the pseudonym, then the reference entry should be original name to pseudonym. So, if you are preparing a reference entry from original name to pseudonym, so if someone comes and search the document by the original name of the author, then the person will be referred to the pseudonym under which the main entry is prepared. So, here I am taking one example of such work, one example by one pseudonym. Here George Brown is the author, then the title is The Mill on the Floss, and the book is introduced by with introduction by Hans Malta, and publisher is Collier Books, New York, and other information regarding the publications are there. That is the back of the title page. It is written that the first Collier book edition 1993, then the half of the title page. Yes, here in the document, in the book, it is found on the half of the title page that the book is written by a person whose name is Mary James, and the George Brown is the fictitious name or the pseudonym of Mary James. Then the other informations are there like call number, accession number, page number, size, and many more accession would be there in the original book. So, here for example purpose we are taking list data. So, for example, that book by George Brown, and if you see the catalog, the main entry is under the same pseudonym, that is Brown George. Now, here main entry is under the pseudonym as guided by AACR-II rule. Then other information, other treatments are like in the catalog of AACR-II, you know that the title, here the title is the mill on the floss, then slash, then the responsibility, then the subsequent responsibility, then the place of publication, publisher, year, like that, the page number. After that, here is the subject of the book. It is English fiction. So, according to Sears list, I have given 2 subjects to this work, and then there is one another added entry, that is added entry for introducer of the book, and then added entry for title. So, in the tracing area there are 4 entries. So, it shows that this catalog set of catalog has one main entry and 4 added entries. Here other treatments are like that. The subject added entry is made according to the AACR rule, as you prepare for the normal books, even by one author or more than one author, the same treatment is there to other parts of the catalog. Only part is that the pseudonym is being treated here with reference entry. So, if you see that the added entry is here, subject added entry, since 2 subjects are there. So, 2 cards are there for subject added entry. Then there is added entry for subsequent responsibility, which is introducer of the book. Then added entry is for title. So, title, the mill on the floss. Then the next one is, this is the main part, where a student or a scholar or practitioner of library and information science, especially while preparing the catalog, this part is important for the treatment of pseudonym. Here the Jem Mary, Jem comma Mary, means Mary Jem is the original name of the author. So, we prepare the catalog like surname first, then forename after that. So, here Jem comma Mary, C Brown George. Why do we see Brown George? Because the main entry is being prepared under Brown George. You see, this is the main entry. So, main entry is under Brown George. Now, from pseudonym, what do we do? That if someone is searching games, Mary Games, as game comma Mary, in that condition, and we are asking the user there to go to Brown George. So, the user will come here on main entry of this book, and the user will find the detail, all the detail of the book, and if the person or the user will need the book or will want to study the book or read the book, the user will find the book. So, this is the first case where one person, one author uses only one pseudonym of more collaborators. Now, another case is, if one or more collaborator or author and editor or translator or editors, more than one editors, uses the same pseudonym. In that condition, what will happen? How are we going to treat this kind of work, where 2 or more than 2 author or 2 or more than 2 other responsibilities like editor, collaborator, like editor, translator, compiler, or any kind of responsibility uses one name. In that condition, what do we do? If 2 or more collaborators use a single pseudonym, choose the pseudonym, means the main entry will be prepared under pseudonym. And what will happen? We have to create 2 reference entries for both the collaborator. If same pseudonym is being used by 2 authors, suppose there is a book which is written by 2 persons, and both the persons use the same pseudonym. In that condition, the main entry will be prepared under the pseudonym, but reference entry will be given to both the author. So, in that condition, the original name to reference original name to pseudonym. So, since there are two authors, so there will be two reference entries from for both the authors or both the collaborators. So, like that, for example, if you see here Emma Latin is being used by two persons, two authors, those are Mary J. Lattice and Martha Hanisart. Then how will you treat this? You have to make reference entry for Lattice Mary J and reference entry from original name to pseudonym, because main entry is prepared under pseudonym. So, in that condition you have to make reference entry from original name to pseudonym. So, here first reference entry is for Lattice Mary J and C Latin Emma, and the second reference entry is for Hanisart Martha, and that is again referred to Latin Emma. So, it is clear that if two or more than two persons are there and using the same pseudonym, then you have to prepare the main entry under the same pseudonym and give the reference to both the user. Now, more than one pseudonym. Here, in previous case, there were two persons using same or using one pseudonym. Here 32.2 A.2 rules of AACR deals with the work which is written by one person using more than one pseudonym. So, might be one person having two fictitious name, two pseudonym or three pseudonym. For example, even in Hindi literature, if you see Premchand has used two pseudonyms. He wrote all his Hindi works under Premchand. Premchand is not the original name of the author. Premchand is the pseudonym of the author. Original name is Dhanpat Rai, and he wrote so many works in Urdu also. So, he used to write his name as Munshi in for Urdu works. So, he has used two pseudonyms. Later, when works of Hindi and Urdu become like one thing, because Urdu words used to be published in Devanagari and the Urdu language is being understood by almost all the Hindi understanding people, and Hindi is being understood by almost all the Urdu understanding people. So, what did happen that later Hindi his work written in Urdu was published in Hindi, and his Hindi works were published in Urdu. So, later people started to call him Munshi Premchand. So, people gave him the third pseudonym. So, person is one, but he is using, or either he is using or by chance his name become his pseudonym become 3 in numbers. So, it is fine for literary word in literary word for people, it is fine, but for a library professional it is different thing. We have to deal with each pseudonym. So, here the rule says if a person use more than one or real name of the pseudonym or real name and the pseudonym. Here If a person uses more than one pseudonym, that is one case, but if there is another case that person may use one pseudonym and one his original name also in the same work, or might be one work would be under pseudonym and another work would be under the original name. So, if the person using pseudonym and original name both for his for his publications, so real name and pseudonym both, and if the person has established separate bibliographic identities, and here establishing separate bibliographic identities means the person is known or person has been cited in the bibliographic tools like national bibliography or bibliography of books or bibliography of reviews and bibliographical databases under two different names. Suppose both the names have been established in the bibliographical tool. So, if name both the names have been established, then it is being considered as the bibliographic identities. So, if the person has established the bibliographic identities under both the name, then you have to treat differently. So, established separate bibliographic identities, one group of similar work under one name and other group of similar works under one or more other names, either pseudonym or mixed of real and pseudonym. So, this is the different case, either more than one pseudonym or pseudonym and original name both, one set of work or one similar work. Suppose one person is writing in Hindi like Premchand, he has established his bibliographical identities for Hindi as Premchand, and if he has established his bibliographical identities as Munshi for Urdu work, in both the conditions, both the names have been established in the bibliographic identities. Same case would be happen if the person is using both pseudonym and original name also, and both pseudonym and original name has been separately established in the bibliographical tools. So, in that condition, choose name from the chief source of publication. So, while cataloging, a cataloger, a library practitioner should choose the name for main entry from the chief source, means from the source for the source which you are preparing the catalog. So, in that condition, if you are preparing a book by Premchand, say Godhan, and in the book it is written by that in the book it is found that the book Godhan is written by Premchand. In that condition, you have to prepare main entry under Premchand, not in any other names. So, you have to rely upon the source for which you are preparing the catalog, and after that we should make the reference entry. Now, another case, more than one pseudonym. More than one pseudonym is the case is same, rule is same, 32A.2, only case is different. One is case 1 where there are two different names. So, Lewis Carroll and second name is Charles Ludwig Dodgson, same person having separate bibliographic identities. Here the person is same, but the person has got established his bibliographical identities separately under two different names. Another case, Anne Rampling, Anne Rice and A.M. Rackwiller, pseudonyms used by the same person. Here three pseudonyms has been used. by one person. Then case 3. Case 3 is Gore Vidal, real name used in the most work, and Igor Boss, pseudonym used in the same work. Here the person uses real name and pseudonym. So, use name frequently used by the author, but if the name have not established separate bibliographic identities, choose the name appears in the latest edition. So, if the name has been used, different name has been used differently, but if different names have not been established, got establishment in the bibliographical tools, in that condition whatever the latest name used by the author, you have to make main entry under that name. Then the person not using pseudonym, rule 32b. If a person is known by more than one name or more than one form of name, sometimes forms are different, choose name or form of name or form by which person is clearly most commonly known, means most popular name, you have to make main entry under the most popular name. Make reference entry from real to pseudonym. For example, I have already discussed Munshi Premchand, and these are the pseudonym of Dhanpat Rai. So, if you are preparing a catalog under Munshi and real name is Dhanpat Rai, in that condition you have to prepare a reference entry under Rai Dhanpat C Munshi. If there is a work which is written published under Premchand, in that condition you have to prepare reference entry from real to second name, like Rai Dhanpat to Premchand. So, first was Munshi, second was Premchand. And the third example is the name is Munshi Premchand, because it is now it is being used as Munshi Premchand. So, if that kind of things are there, if Munshi, if your publication is using Munshi Premchand, in that condition you have to make real to fictitious or pseudonym. Here suppose if I have given taken Munshi as an example, but if you have a work whose pseudonym is popular, in that condition you have to make main entry under pseudonym and give the reference entry under from pseudonym to real name, like Munshi C Rai Dhanpat. The Munshi Premchand or Munshi or Premchand are more popular, we do not make any entry under Dhanpat Rai. So, another example is for another name of the author, another pseudonym of the author. Then third is third pseudonym of the author. So, here what we found that the users sometimes use different name which is not his or her original name for his works, and in that condition a cataloger needs to put a special attention for cataloging such works. If a person use pseudonym and that pseudonym is the work of the person is published under one pseudonym, same pseudonym, in that condition there is not much hassle, you make the main entry as per AACR-II under the pseudonym, or make the reference entry from real name to pseudonym. So, if a person is using more than one pseudonym, in that condition you have to make reference entries for both the pseudonyms. If a person is using both pseudonym and real name, in that condition you have to make, if you are making the catalog under pseudonym, then in that condition you have to make reference entry from real name to pseudonym. If you are making catalog main entry under real name, in that condition you have to make reference entry from pseudonym to real name. So, that way we can treat pseudonym with the help of reference entries. We can help our user to find, even if the user is not finding the book by the name under which the work is published, means if the name work is published under pseudonym and user is finding the book with real name, in that condition reference entry helps the user in reaching the right documents. So, this was all about the pseudonym. Dear friends, we have discussed pseudonym in length and width, and hope it will help you in treating the pseudonym while making the catalog as per AACR-II. Friends, thanks for being with us today on this topic, and we will come with another topic on the same platform at other time or on other day. Till then, thank you. Thanks to all of you.